Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Andres Segovia Show special segment, Tech Talk. I'm Andres, and that sip of coffee I just took was Breakfast Blend, brought to you by Ranger Candy Coffee Company. If you're not familiar with them, they're a small business, veteran-owned and operated, that specializes in all forms of coffee. Go check them out at rangercandycoffeecompany.com, and if you use promo code Andres Segovia, you'll get free shipping on your order. So go check them out today. And for those of you looking for links are available in the description down below for anyone that's interested. Anywho, this is my website as usual, www.segovia.com. You can find anything and everything about me and what I do and where you can find me. You'll notice there hasn't really been a new episode lately. There's some clips that are going up from stuff that you might have missed, maybe stuff that you don't see because I'm exclusively on locals, but that's because I'm on hiatus. Whenever I do a live thing or a pre-recorded stream, it's whenever I do it at a whim, and I'd already planned to do something about today's topic, which is the parallel economy, but a couple of things popped up today before I even decided to turn on the camera that I have to address, and that is the first thing up would be this. Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, calling on governments to censor the internet. This comes from Breitbart, because this woman went after Steven Crowder for having done nothing wrong, because the mob was pressured to do something about it because of his fight with Vox during the Vox apocalypse against Fox. Carlos Maza, I think the dude's name was. Was it? I don't remember. Whatever. The point is that that's what kicked off a lot of things and really stifled the growth of independent content creators. Yours truly among them. It really sucked to see those numbers fall big time after having so much traction and spending so much money in advertisement just to watch it all just, be spent away. But this sucks, and here you have a CEO of an American company calling on governments to censor the internet, which is by all intents and purposes, it's unconstitutional here in the United States. But you also have a federal government that is completely socialist, that is calling on privately owned companies to censor on their platforms. Case in point, Joe Rogan and the Spotify situation. Don't apologize to the mob, because they're just going to continue coming after you for XYZ reasons, and you'll never satisfy them. Anyway, this thing popped up before I decided to record, so I have to address it. And this popped up too, because today I was going to talk about Gab and certain things that they have, but now it's just gone beyond what they're doing for the parallel economy and something a lot more firm, because they're quite literally the tip of the spear when it comes to the parallel economy, and one of the last bastions of online free speech. And they paid the price dearly for their position on standing on free speech. Look, this place is seen as a safe haven for Christians. And when you're on there, you're going to find some of the most anti-Christian people ever. And they're welcome just the same, because so long as they're not calling for harm against other people, this is a place where you can freely, for the most part, express yourself. And I respect that. I respect that about Gab. I have my caveats and my issues with Andrew Torba, CEO. We're both Christians. We're both conservatives. We see some things on different lights. Probably our life experiences have shaped some of that. I don't know. But the point is that he and I don't see eye to eye on a lot. But what I can get behind is what he's been doing for Gab. And now they're basically starting their own venture capitalist fund with this parallel economy fund, where Gab will be investing in the early stage startup businesses who are working to solve a set of problems in the parallel economy. This could be in technology, media, healthcare, finance, and other areas of interest to us that we'll elaborate more in the future. Some of the areas include a list of things here: making Bitcoin more user-friendly and more privacy-focused for everyday use. I would probably say cryptocurrency, not just pigeonholed into Bitcoin, but that's probably what they mean. Censorship-resistant shipping and logistics. A lot of Christian stuff here, such as healthcare, homeschooling, entertainment content, technology for churches, planting churches, Christian Airbnb. That's what people are like, oh yeah, Gab is Christian. No, and it just happened to be run by Christians. And how ironic that leftists warned that if Christians had their way, we would have less freedom, and the ones that are the last haven for online freedom of speech are Christians. Man, yeah, like Alan Moore had it right for the most part, but always vilified the wrong group. V for Vendetta vilifies Christianity as what dystopian future would look like if they had their way. No, that would be the leftist goons if they had their way. In the name of equality, in the name of equity, no one is free. So just throw it out there. But Gab will be investing $25,000 to $50,000. I'm assuming it's dollars because it's 25 to 50,000 something in startup capital. So it must be money or something. Gab Ads credit, Gab Cloud. First I hear about that. Access for free, speech hosting services, and access to the Gab community of entrepreneurs for mentorship and help with scaling and distribution, which is really, really awesome. Gab Ads was recently launched. I thought about creating one of my own, but it's not in the cards for me just yet. But I do intend when the time comes. Here's one of the last posts that I liked from Andrew Torba. I don't technically follow him, but there's a way for me to still keep up to date. He says, stop calling Gab the alternative, the Twitter alternative, which is true because some people call it the Twitter alternative. But check this out. Gab Groups, Gab Marketplace, Gab Ads, Gab Pay, Gab TV, Gab Voice. We are the Silicon Valley alternative. Absolutely. They are an alternative to Silicon Valley. He stemmed from Silicon Valley. I don't know if he worked for Facebook or something, but that's where he ended up leaving from. And from Silicon Valley because he saw what they were doing. And he couldn't do his own. So this is my profile. If you're ever interested. If you are on Gab, by all means, check out my social profile, which is here. And if you are subscribed on Gab TV, by all means, so you don't miss out on any updates and some behind-the-scenes stuff, follow me on the social at the Andres Segovia. There's some posts here that I'm going to refer back to, which is this one. But first things first, Marketplace. This was recently launched. It's pretty awesome. This is basically eBay or Craigslist, just not as disorganized. So this is a cool place. It was just launched maybe about a week ago or less, and already there's tons of stuff being popular here. Tens of thousands of things, or thousands of things already being added here in such a short while. It's pretty amazing to see all that happen. There's a particular section here that speaks to me because this is important, and that would be real estate. People are selling real estate, or even renting out things. I assume for like stuff throughout. So it's the United States, and I think I saw a place for sale in Colombia or some South American joint, but like here's a rental in a condo in Panama City Beach, California. And I think that is super awesome to see something like this already there because we absolutely do need it. I actually spoke with Zillow a day or two before I'm recording this to talk to them about their own version of the MLS, because if anyone can do it and should do it, it is them in addressing what's been going on with the National Association of Realtors and the crackdown on their own agents. But that's a story for another time. Groups, what's that mean? Well, like Facebook groups. They have groups here too. So these are the groups that I'm a part of: the Batman fans, the buy, sell, rent, real estate, the Real Estate Professional Network, Real Estate Southern California, which speaks to me, Soundtrack Discovery. Some have a few members, some of them have more. These are niche, it seems. I am a part of these. I've been having fun talking about my favorite comics and things on Batman films. I'm not watching that Peacemaker show from HBO Max because, HBO has gone and Warner Bros. Has gone super woke. But there's some things that I guess people like about it, and I've seen some clips and I thought, that's pretty good. But I'm going to wait until the jury's out on the entire season before I decide to waste my time on it. But Soundtrack Discovery, discover this one, folks, because I'm putting some of my Soundtrack Corner stuff there too, so you can check it out. What else can I show you here? There's like news items and all these different things. Explore. Let's see, what else? There's feeds. I'm going to show you feeds here in a moment on something called GapDeck. This is my absolutely favorite tool. For those of you that are familiar with TweetDeck, that you can manage your Twitter accounts and things, which is not an app anymore. Now it's like an online thing similar to this. I have two algorithms created. One that's pure news, which is the one I'm scrolling on, and the other one that's satire mixed in with a couple accounts that are exclusive to follow them on notifications, which is super awesome to be able to do all from one window. I have this open almost all the time. It's how I stay up to date and laugh. And I refresh every now and then, and that's how I know when Andrew Torba is posting up some updates. So I don't technically have to follow people, though whether they'll populate or spam my main feed. I can go straight to the source and also compose to my heart's content, schedule it, or have a status expiration, or just even make it private to a certain few that can see it. It's really awesome. A lot of different things you can do, and it's all technically here. Now, there's one more thing for which is why I pulled up here, because it's like, what's Gap Pay? Gap Pay is basically the alternative version of PayPal. And because it requires financial exchanges, it's taking a little longer. It is, I think, beyond the alpha, now in the beta stage. And who knows? I threw my head on the ring. I might be considered for the beta program. But Gap Pay is that replacement for PayPal, because Gab has been debanked. 4 banks that closed their accounts, so they had to make things work without it. And despite that, they're still here. People try to cancel them. Companies try to cancel them. Even political action groups have tried to cancel them. They are still here. And I'm glad that they are. I'm glad I discovered them. I ended up discovering them because Parler went down. So like, what's Gab? And I went there. I didn't really have. I didn't really want to use it. I'll get into that here in a bit. I thought I'm gonna close this out, but this is Gab Voice. This took me by surprise, because I didn't see this is something. I wanted something like this, but not to this extent. Twitter Spaces meets Zoom. That's what it's being described at. All through your web browser. Have a live video chat with friends while 1,000 people tune in to watch, or a private password protected video meeting for work. That's Gab Voice, and it's coming soon. Dude, that is awesome. So technically, you're telling me I can live stream something and have people tune in. And if Gap Pay is there, is that like a tipping? We can add like a tipping system, or like a super chat kind of thing. Dude, this is awesome, because I was waiting for something like that. Maybe that's why I never heard of this Gap Cloud Services thing, because they've been working in the back because they know they need it for something like this. Look, they are doing so very much. I am a Gap Pro member. Gap Pro is what gives you access to basically all of these things. Upgrade to Pro. Now they have a monthly thing. Before it was, I think it was only annual. So I did the $100 plan. The 2-year happens to be the most popular one. You can develop Liberty. You get all these other things with it. Like you get verified, sell on marketplace. You get a Pro badge, bookmark post, self-destructing post, no ads, Gap TV channel, which is very important to me. Compose with rich text, and I think I said schedule posts and things like that. So there was a lot things for me, mostly because Gap TV, which would be this, is why I did it. And as my stats bear out, these things are like, based on just a handful of subscribers, I'm still getting way more play here on just a handful of subscribers versus the thousands that I have on YouTube. That in recent months, YouTube has decided to basically like peter out, like pushing the algorithm on it. So I am happy with what I've seen in reaction here. People are starved for content. There's engagement here that I like. And of course, there'll always be some haters. And hey, if it comes with the territory, I don't care. If you watch my stuff, I appreciate you taking time to check out my stuff. But this was one of the reasons why I signed up for Gap Pro. But I had my apprehensions. I had mentioned that there was a stigma to this. I do not like that leaders, including Andrew Choba, have embraced this whole alt-tech title, because the left is the one that came up with alt-right, and now are like trying to umbrella anything that they don't like, alt this or alt that, and then it has this negative connotation. This is not an alternative to Facebook. It is quite simply Gab. This is not an alternative to Twitter. It is Gab. This is not an alternative to Parler. It is Gab. What I'm saying is, we never refer to Vimeo video service or Dailymotion as the alternative to YouTube. We know those are like substitutes or alternatives to YouTube, right? But no one ever refers to it in that way. But when it comes to these other platforms, they have to call them alternative YouTube, because they want to tell you that, oh, those alt, you see what they're doing psychologically, conditioning you to not like it already. And that worked with me, because like I had some unsavory post be thrown at me. I've had some hate thrown at me, even on Minds. Minds and BitChute immediately showed me that I wasn't welcome. And I'm still there, because like, well, hey, I can be here if I want to. So I choose to be there. So that's how I ended up doing it. You don't want to be there, then don't be there. But what the media and the haters don't want you to see, and why they want to shut down, is for all of everything that you have just seen. Because they don't want you to build their own. You either put up or shut up to use their services that they deem important for you to use, which is Facebook/Meta, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Oh, no, then we'll kick you out. It's the equivalent saying, no. You're not firing me. I quit. They're like, oh, you can't quit. I'm firing you. No, you're fired. That's technically what they want to have. Like, they want to be the ones to have the last say, the last word, and say, look, I lord over you. I have that much more power over you. And then when it's something like this is threatening to them, because no, you need us. You need us. And Gab would be like, no, we don't. And we've been proving it. That's basically what their attitude has been. And look, honestly, if you asked me about a month and a half ago, I was like, I'm going to let my Gap Pro expire. No, and I'm here making the promise to all of you. I am going to renew Gap. In fact, I might renew for more than a year. I just need to see how the logistics will work with what I'm doing in the background with a lot of different investments that I'm doing. But that's where I am. Because I'm not one of those, like, look, my audience that are watching on Gap, there's a lot of you, I know, well, not I want to say a lot of you, there are those of you that bash the other side. I hate the infighting, okay? I have my issues with Getter too. I am on Getter. But for all intents and purposes, I'm still on Parler, and I engage on Parler about as much or even more than on Gap. One thing, though, that I haven't liked about even those on Parler, they complain about every little thing that either breaks or this feature is still missing or whatever on Parler. It's never cost them a cent. No one's ever paid any penny to Parler. And their only support, quite literally, if it comes directly from the user base, would be through the shop or the data that they're leeching in some way, somehow. But the point is that the individual has not paid anything to it. I'm the only one that's volunteered. I even suggested to Parler, hey, if you do a subscription model, I'm willing to offer some to pay for it. But then on Gab, like, you have an opportunity to invest in this parallel economy. That's what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of that thing. Before it was like, I'm doing something for myself and getting a Gap TV thing. Yeah, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that I'm used to. Didn't really matter. I wanted to be somewhere. Also, it's not just YouTube. And to see how much has happened in the year that I have been here almost, I have seen what my funds have helped contribute to. The parallel economy. And I want more in on that, which is why I signed up for some beta stuff. It's like, hey, I would like to be part of the beta program. I would love to help continue growing this in any way I can help, because I used to do that. This is what I believe in and what is being done. And that, quite frankly, is awesome. So, this sums it up quite nicely. This is from Disco, one of the accounts on Gap. I think he's one of the developers. I'm not entirely sure. Social media on Gab.com, people talk, and then people on platforms talk, and Gab is basically like the microphones for both. Everyone else, like Twitter and all that other stuff, the ones on the platform speak, and no one else can talk, and these things are talking down to the people. Quite frankly, that's exactly what happens. So, consider it, folks. Get on Gab. Technically, it's free. And if you like what you see, everything that I just showed you is for pro members. So you get something way more than just a social feed. Anyway, that's my pitch for Gap and my promise that I will sign up. Again, I will renew my pro account in the coming month when it's time. Thank you so very much for tuning in to this Tech Talk episode. Little random. That's how these things go, which is why it's different from other shows. By all means, remember, go check out RangerCandyCoffeeCompany.com. Use promo code Andres Segovia. Save on shipping. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. But before I say that, the next episode could be weeks down the road. So just letting you know, technically I am hiatus from the main show, but there'll be clips from some, in case you missed it, stuff that's coming up, real estate stuff and interviews and stuff like that. So don't miss out on that. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.